Hello friends. Today's video is a bit different because it's taken me, well, long story short, I was without internet for 2 weeks. I had to change providers. I now have a new service provider. My internet is doing much better, so I can finally start uploading again. That also happened to coincide with Thanksgiving and all the family things, so sorry I was gone for a while, but I'm back now. Today we're going to talk about Lenormand, and it's because I've been dealing with some interpersonal things, and in my experience, Lenormand works much better for getting answers about interpersonal problems than tarot does, just because that's how it was designed. It was designed to talk about the interactions between various aspects of your life. For those of you who want to know more about how to read Lenormand, I do have some videos about the basic reading and then more advanced reading techniques, which I will put cards up somewhere. I am still learning how to do that, so let's guess. Is it this side? We'll see if I'm right. That being said, I have some questions about interpersonal relationships going on. So I'm going to use Lenormand to help get some answers. With the intro out of the way, let's get right into it. So, unlike tarot, Lenormand only has 36 cards. This particular deck instead has 38 because it has two duplicates, where the gentleman and the lady have two variations, one that is old and one that is young. All right. So I'm just going to do a simple 9 square grid. Lenormand, unlike tarot, is read in pairs. So I'm going to start by putting down the first bottom layer. And Lenormand also doesn't care about reversals. Okay. So these would be the house cards, and then the cards that go on top are being modified by what's underneath them. That's just my personal preference. Other people read it the other way, where the top card is the house card and what's underneath it is what's being affected by it. You can do whichever way makes sense to you. All right. So in a 9 grid, you start top to bottom and left to right. You can also read in other directions if that makes more sense to you, but that's the traditional way, is you start uh, left to right, top to bottom. I know I said that the reverse the first time, but okay. We have the lady and the bear. Oh, and it would help if I tell you what my question is. I have started dating. So my question, because I end up being a very flirty person, which I know that might not come across in the videos because I'm the videos are like informative talk stuff rather than like flirt, like personal interaction things. But I end up doing a lot of flirting and not then like acting on it. So my question is, do I need to be more direct? Do I need to be more um I don't want to say pushy, but I almost feel like I'm being pushy. So that's my quandary here. So we're gonna look at these cards and see um, how that corresponds to it. So our first pair is the lady and the bear. It's going to be interesting to see what this is actually telling me because the gentleman did not show up at all. So in Lenormand, you're typically looking for the cards that represent people, and identifying who that person is in your life. The fact that I don't have, I guess I'm being represented by the Cavalier then, because the Cavalier is there. Also, sometimes called the Rider, depending on your deck. Wherever you are is the present, that would be my present. So it's telling me a lot of stuff about the past and underlying themes. So in the past, I have the lady and the bear, young lady. I want to say that's probably my ex wife. Bear. That does make sense though, because the bear modifies the lady in the your power lies in. As far as relationships go, I did not have much power in that relationship, but I overcame it. Um, I'm outside of that relationship now. I'm living, I think, more honestly with myself, more genuinely with myself. So that's the past, like far past, which fits because that's 7 years ago now. More immediate past, I have the crossroads and the scythe. So the scythe is what is suddenly ending. The crossroads is choices. So yeah, I made some pretty sudden choices last year. That fits. Oh, yeah, actually, this does make a lot of sense that I would be the Cavalier there. Um, so the Cavalier, if we look at the picture, is paired with the older lady. The Cavalier is about messages. It's about specifically the person who's carrying messages. And today, most of my day was spent helping my aunt. I love how I asked a specific question and the cards are just going, nope, we're telling you something else. So, okay. So, in this case, what is currently affecting me is feminine energy. She is the person I go to advice for, and quite regularly, she asks me for help with things too. So, that matches. So, underlying things regarding my question of what should I do about my relationships? We have the cross with the letter. So the cross is a burden that you bear, or it could be faith. It depends on who is doing the interpretation and a lot of times what card it's paired with. In this case, it's the letter, which is specific news. Like someone actually gave you correspondence, a letter, an email, some sort of physical read or readable information. Again, that would be in the past, approximately the same time I was married. I was constantly having correspondence that was bad. Um, and so you'll see that each column corresponds to each other and each row corresponds to each other. The information layers on top of itself in Lenormand. So then, even below that, is the tower in the tree. The tree is your health, and the tower is a warning. And oh man, did my health collapse after that. I spent quite a long time overcoming health problems since then. Into the next row, where we've got our crossroads and our scythe, the information that is leading up to that or attaching itself to it. We have the mice and the garden. So the mice are the thing that is eating at you, something that is worrying you. The garden is social gossip, it's communication, it's what people are talking about. And oh, yeah, immediately after my divorce, people would not shut up. There was so much expectation and people taking sides who had no idea what was going on. So, oh, yeah, that ate at me a lot. And then we have the ring, which is a promise, and the child, which either represents a literal child or it can represent innocence. In this case, I mean, we never had children, which I'm grateful for because that would have seriously complicated life. Not that children are a bad thing. It's just in my personal circumstance that would have been complicated. The way that that ties together is that's about the time I decided I was never going to have kids. I mean, I'd still love to adopt, but I don't think I'm actually going to end up siring any children myself. Okay, now current day. We have the lady with the cavalier. So, um, the advice I've been receiving, the feminine energy I've been receiving from my aunt. Since my parents have both died and all my grandparents are gone, she's been my go-to confidant, you could say. So we have the snake of the moon. The snake is a deceptive person, and the moon represents intuition. It can also represent feminine energy. So this feels like it's saying, watch out for someone who's projecting a lot of feminine energy, who is deceptive about it. They're projecting the feminine energy to hide their true self. And then we have coffin and heart. Ooh. Okay, so coffin is endings. It's analogous to the death card in tarot, where it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's inevitable. You can't avoid it. So your heart is, I mean, it's your heart, it's your love, it's your relationships. So underlying, yeah, that is something I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of losing what relationships I still have. You know what? I'm going to add another row just to see what it wants to tell me in the immediate future now that I know where I've been placed in this. Okay, so what it is telling me is the book is memory and the key is opportunities. It's something because you use keys to open doors. So I'll be able to use my memory to open doors. We have the dog and the anchor. So the anchor is, it can either be positive or negative. It's that what grounds you, what holds you steady. Dog is a loyal friend. So yeah, I think I know who that's talking about. And then we have the mountain and the stork. So mountain is obstacles. It's what is in your way, and stork is productive changes. So the obstacle that is here is productive. The obstacle feels like it is choosing what is a productive change. Like I said, this is my first video back after a few weeks away. Wanted to try doing something a little different, so pulled out Lenormand instead of tarot. I love how the cards were like, yeah, this is what you want to know. That's not what we're talking about today. So there's my Lenormand reading for my current relationships and pursuing dating and things. Hope you enjoyed it. Just a quick reminder, I have a Buy Me a Coffee page and a personal website if you feel like supporting me in a monetary fashion. And as always, until next time, walk in the light, my friends. Bye.